All right, what's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with your betting preview for this week's Mayakoba Golf Classic. Had the week off last week. We were moving, still in a very empty room, but the audio should be really good. So yeah, let's continue to roll on. I'm excited about this week. We have a lot of interesting betting options. I'll take you through some of the outright bets that I have made or I am considering making. Talk a little top 5, top 10. I think there's a lot of value in those this week. And then I waited long enough in the week to get the group bets up. So we'll chat through some of those as well. All right, let's kick it. All right, first off, if you have not been following along to the DFS videos or the tools that are available on my site, which is dfsondemand.com, I did just push a new update to the cheat sheet, which for me really helps to quickly identify a lot of plays because it has in, some of this stuff is more fantasy relevant because it has projected points in it, but to easily have the strokes gain data, to easily have the recent tournaments, and to easily have the tournament history all on one line for every single player, super helpful. So if you have not joined DFS on Demand, no better time than right now. So when I'm looking through this, there's a couple of guys that I think that jump out at me, and then I kind of go and look at their odds and see what's going on from there. And as you can imagine, the DraftKings salaries correlate very closely to the Las Vegas odds. So Matt Kuchar, who is the highest priced golfer in the field, is also going to be basically the betting favorite to win this golf tournament. So the further down the list you go, the longer the odds you get. And the first guy that jumped out at me, as I was going through this, because of this cheat sheet, and this cheat sheet actually doesn't even cover it, but Harris English, he's $8,000 on DraftKings. He's 50 to 1 to win the golf tournament. Just hasn't played in the last 3 weeks, so I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot about him. Third place at the Greenbrier, sixth at the Sanderson Farms, fourth in Houston. To have 3 top 6 finishes in your last 4 starts, that is the definition of knocking at the door. Now, if you just look here on the right-hand side, I mean, tournament history-wise in Mayakoba, the last four years or so have been brutal. I think he's missed 4 or 5, maybe it's 5 years, because he missed 4 cuts and he has a 68th. But the year before that, he was the winner. So you've got a guy who's 50 to 1 playing probably the best he's played since that win. I'm not even sure that's an exaggeration. Going back to a place he's won before, and he's listed here at, let's see, 50, where is he? Right here at the bottom, 50 to 1. Alongside guys like Danny Lee, Ches Reavie, Harold Varner III, who I actually kind of like Harold Varner this week, but Harris English at least feels like a guy that can actually win this golf tournament because he has won this golf tournament in the past. And that's what really matters when you're trying to find value in outrights, is someone has to be able to win the golf tournament. Like, as much as I love Tony Finau, the fact that he doesn't close, and I actually think this is a pretty good price on him this week, 20 to 1, quite frankly, but the fact that he doesn't close tournaments is pretty tough. He's still sitting on that one Puerto Rico Open win from a couple of years ago. I mean, he's a top 5 machine, top 10 machine. His form's not great, so you get a pretty good price on him here, but the idea is you need to be able to win a golf tournament. So the first guy was Harris English. The second guy that got some of my juices flowing was Joaquin Niemann at 25 to 1. And I'll jump back to the cheat sheet just so you can see where Niemann is. He's going to be closer to the top. He's $9,800 on DraftKings. He played all right on the Asian swing, 12th place at the CJ Cup, 33rd at the Zozo. But it's this one right here. It's the win at the Greenbrier that really gets me kind of amped up because it proves he can win. Right? I mean, that's when you're betting outrights, you have to be able to win the golf tournament. So he's going to make a ton of birdies, which, 20 under, actually, I believe he has the best birdie or better percentage in this field. And when the, winning score is likely to be 18 to 22 under par, Joaquin Niemann is kind of here in a big way. Also, the issue with Niemann, and it hasn't been so much this year because you're looking at the 2020 strokes gain stats. But notoriously, Niemann's his weak spot is his putter. But these are Paspalum greens here at Mayakoba, so usually run a little bit slower, usually level out the playing field. Bad putters cannot, they can still putt poorly, but they cannot putt as poorly as you would certainly expect them to. So Niemann checking in, $9,800. He's 25 to 1. That's a number that has stayed since the books opened on Monday, I took advantage of that. So I've fired a bet on Niemann, and I've already fired a bet on Harris English to this point. So then after that, I didn't necessarily want to fire a few more outright bets. I could have probably gone down and maybe fired one on Varner, but don't have a lot of hope that he can actually win a golf tournament. I don't mind Harry Higgs at 80, considering he probably should have won the last time he teed it up, which was at Bermuda. Just Brendan Todd kind of rushed him and went out and won the golf tournament. So I started to look at these top 5 bets. So you flip over to the top 5, top 10, top 20, and this is where I start to think you get a lot of the value here. So even someone like Lonto Griffin here at 7.5 to 1 to finish in the top 5. Let's actually look and see what his top 10 and top 20 numbers are. So plus 750 to finish top 5, plus 350 to finish top 10, and he's probably just a small dog to finish. Yeah, okay, and plus 185 to finish in the top 20. Well, I will tell you, and I can flip over to the player profile and find Lanto here. Obviously, just like in investing, right? Past performances do not indicate future returns, but 6 for 6 for Griffin. That is 6 starts, no finish worse than an 18th place finish, including a win. So you have you have a really what we've seen from him this year is that he has a really high floor, meaning that hey, he's going to finish in the top 18 in 6 straight starts. And he also has a little bit of upside where he's gone out and actually won a golf tournament. So that's the type of guy that I want to be kind of betting in these top 5, top 10, even top 20 scenarios, right? I mean, you could almost bet him in all 3, which I have. He doesn't need to win the golf tournament. If he finishes in the top 5, he's going to cash all 3 of those. You're getting plus money on all of them. Like, that's the type of guy that I think he stays in contention, at least for the top 20, so often, right? I mean, we have not seen it this year where he has kind of faded off and finished outside of that. So I'm excited to bet it. But I did also bet top 5 and top 10 on Harold Varner, who I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, and I mentioned him on the DFS show, I believe. So here's Varner, a top 5, 10 to 1. Same odds to finish in the top 5 as Rory Sabatini, Pat Perez, Graham McDowell, Scott Piercy, Brian Harmon. Actually, Harmon is 11 to 1. But Varner, who I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, if we go back to the cheat sheet and kind of see what he's been up to, he's right here at $7,900. 26 at the CJ Cup, 27th at Zozo, 2 really good finishes by his standards, right? He's playing well at the moment. Basically, 4 of his last 5 starts have been top 25s. And if you look at his tournament history here, plenty of upside. Missed the cut in 2017, but 2016 and 2019, the other 2 times he's played this event, he has a 5th and a 6th place finish. So I bet him top 5, hoping that, he's playing well enough coming in. He's got good vibes here. I don't need him to win this golf tournament, which, last time we saw him in contention, it was a little bit scary. And now, he can cash me in a top 5 bet for 10 to 1, and he can cash a top 10 bet for, let's see what his actual number is, 5 to 1, of course. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and there was plenty of upside there. So I went out and captured both of those. Then I flipped over to the groups, which I really love. So if you wait long enough in the week, you get access to the group betting, and there's 4 groups this week. Sometimes we get 5 groups, but 4 groups this week. Group A is Victor Hovland, Matt Kuchar, Jason Day, Tony Finau, Billy Horschel. In that order, Hovland is plus 320, Horschel is plus 380, and everyone else is in between. Quite frankly, I didn't love anyone on this group. I didn't want to force a bet. I just stayed away from it. If you really, really made me, I think Finau's interesting. But I did not bet this, and this is a no bet for me. So I just skipped that. I think that there is some there's some part of me that thinks that, fading the top of the board in both fantasy and in straight bets is a pretty good strategy for this week. So none of these guys are someone I wanted to invest in. Group B, on the other hand, Group B has Russell Knox, Abraham Ancer, Kevin Kisner, Emiliano Grillo, and Charles Howell III, ranging again from plus 320 to plus 380 in that order. And for me, there's three guys. There's basically three guys in this group that I don't like. Answer for me is a big fade this week. I think you're paying just for the fact that he is Mexico native. Kisner, who I like most weeks, but not this one, has had a horrible record at Mayakoba, hasn't been able to get around here. Russell Knox, I guess I'm more lukewarm on him, just doesn't do it for me. So I've kind of ruled out those three. So really, Emiliano Grillo and Charles Howell III were the only two that I would consider betting here. I ended up firing on Charles Howell. I got the extra little percent there because Grillo is plus 360, Howell is plus 380, so I got a little bit more for value on my bet. And Charles Howell's been really good. And let me see if I can pull him up on the cheat sheet really quickly so we can actually see it. Yeah, here he is. I mean, you can see plenty of upside. 4th at the Safeway, 20th at the CJ Cup, 8th at the Zozo, and then he missed the cut last year here in Mayakoba, but the 3 previous years he was trending towards a win. 17th place finish in 2016, 7th in 2017, 4th in 2018. You were expecting that big win in 2019, and he missed the cut. But good course history for him, tournament history for him, and when you compare him to here are the other guys: Knox, Answer. Here's something we can do here. So I'll just list the guys that I considered. So we'll do Knox, we will do Howell, and we'll do Grillo, and I can just compare these guys against each other here. Yeah, there we go. So that's pretty cool. So when you look at it, Charles Howell III, probably has the best form. Russell Knox had that 11th at Bermuda, and Knox has had 3 really good finishes here. Grillo's been pretty good here too. So all 3 of these guys have played this course well. You have their course history here, and you can compare their stats. So that's a pretty cool little feature of the cheat sheet that I use quite a bit. So I ended up going with Charles Howell III there. And then Group C is Joaquin, Niemann, Aaron Wise, Scotty Scheffler, Lanto Griffin, and Denny McCarthy. Niemann is the pretty significant favorite in this group, as he should be. I think it's pretty clear who's the best player in this field, or best player in this group at the moment. Scotty Scheffler's in here, but yeah, I mean, Niemann is plus 240, which is pretty short when it comes to group betting. Denny McCarthy is the long shot. He's plus 480. So this one is much more spread out than the other groups are. This was a no bet for me. I like a lot of these guys. I like Lanto. I like Scotty Scheffler. I like Joaquin Niemann. I didn't want to try to really delineate or decipher between these two guys or those 3 guys. So I just that was a no bet for me. And then Group D, this is a lot of the, not bottom of the barrel guys, but it's led by Keegan at plus 320. Danny Lee also plus 320. JT Poston, Ches Reavie, both plus 360, and then Pat Perez at plus 380. And this to me, I don't necessarily think Pat Perez should be in this group. I really like JT Poston, but he does it with the flat stick, and in a week where bad putters might be able to get away with it, Poston, loses a little bit of value for me. Keegan and Danny Lee just don't move the needle. So I went with Ches Reavie here because I'm banking a little bit more on that long-term form and the pedigree for Reavie. This should be a really good course for him. The key stats guys that have been accurate off the tee, not even necessarily long, have played really well here at Mayakoba in the past. And that's Reavie. Nobody hits more fairways than this guy. I just think that you're getting a pretty decent price because he hasn't been good recently. This is a really good price when he could have easily been like in Group C in another week as opposed to being in Group D. So that's where I'm going. I've fired those bets, and then I also just fired a bunch of random first round leader bets. Let's see who I might have played here. They were all long shots. Landry was one because we've seen him play scorching hot for 1 round. I think Keith Mitchell was one, and then I bet on Brendan Todd just in case he happens to continue that Sunday magic from the Bermuda and just goes out and scorches the field here again. He's 90-1 in the first round leader bets. So that's where I'm going. Let me know what you think about that. Tweet me. It's at RickRunGood, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.